Imagine you're in deep sleep, dreaming about how you just defeated the boss in your video game or won a huge competition with a giant cash prize. Suddenly, your alarm clock rings, and you get up, annoyed that your dream was so rudely interrupted. However, chances are that by the end of breakfast, you won't even remember what your dream was about in the first place. Most people dream at night when they are asleep, but the majority of the time, we can't recall what exactly our dreams were about, even right after waking up. This experience is an extremely common occurrence, and something that likely happens to us almost every day. But why do we forget our dreams? What even are dreams? Well, the magic all happens in the body's control center, the brain. But before we start, welcome to the Thought Waterfall Podcast. I'm your host Sharvi, and let's jump right into our episode today. But first of all, what even are dreams? Dreams are kind of like simulations and mental activity that happen when you are asleep. This specific sleep is called rapid eye movement, or REM for short, and is when you experience fluctuations in heart rate, quick eye movement behind your eyelids, and increases in brain activity. Now, dreams can occur at any time when you are asleep, but REM is when the mental imaging produces the most lifelike and memorable dreams compared to non-REM dreams. This brings us to another question. Why do we dream in the first place? Well, the truth is that we don't know the reason for sure. Since scientists haven't come up with a way to analyze dreams accurately and efficiently yet, as well as taking into account that the dreaming experience varies from person to person, it's extremely hard to pinpoint why exactly we get these simulations. However, multiple theories have been brought up throughout the years of researching dreams. For example, dreams are said to consolidate or strengthen your memory. Since dreams are often based on the details of your life, they may serve an important role in processing and helping you recall those details during the day when you are awake. Other theories about why we get dreams include helping with the processing of emotions, getting rid of unnecessary information, going over the events that happened that past day, or just being a spark of brain activity that doesn't actually mean anything. But even if these theories are true, then why do we end up forgetting dreams? It honestly depends on a variety of factors, especially knowing that everyone's sleep experience is different. For instance, the number of hours you sleep does actually play a role in your recall. REM usually begins about 90 minutes after you fall asleep and will spread itself out throughout your resting time. The longest periods of REM take place during the second half of your sleep, which happens to be in the hours right before you're awake. So essentially, if you end up sleeping less one night and wake up earlier, you will have less time for dreaming and less REM cycles, meaning that you will experience fewer dreams. This makes it harder for you to remember your dreams, especially on top of being groggy and tired about getting less sleep. Another reason why you may not be able to remember your dream is because you wake up when you're not in your REM cycle. If your alarm clock goes off when you are in non-REM sleep, your dreams are more like fragments of your imagination and thoughts, so it will naturally be harder to remember your most exciting and vivid dream that you had earlier in your REM sleep. Other factors of not remembering your dreams can also include your age, since you tend to get more REM sleep when you are younger, in addition to being stressed and simply not trying to remember your dream. By now, you may be wondering, is there a way to remember your dreams? Of course. When you get into bed, you can set an intention by convincing yourself that you're going to remember your dreams and that your memory is extremely strong. You could also try to wake up a couple times in the night to hopefully be awake right after experiencing a REM cycle, when your most vivid dream is probably still fresh in your memory. You can do this by drinking water right before you go to bed, and briefly waking up in the early hours before you are officially awake. And once it's morning, it can be helpful to lie in bed for a few minutes to try to remember your dreams, and write them down on a piece of paper whenever you recall them during the day. Even talking about your dreams with others can help solidify that memory of having that dream. This just goes to show that everyone's perceptions and mental experiences are extremely different, and dreams are just one of those mysterious occurrences our brains give us every day. Well, that's it for this episode. To recap, dreams are kind of like simulations or stories our brains make up while we're asleep. While dreams can happen at any stage of our sleep, the most memorable dreams occur in REM sleep, which is when our eyes rapidly move behind our eyelids and our brains are highly active. Though dreams are a subject of ongoing research, there are key theories that might explain why we get them, from strengthening memory to disposing of unnecessary information. Forgetting our dreams is a common experience for most, and depends on a number of factors, including not getting enough REM sleep, waking up during a non-REM cycle, poor mental health, age, or simply just not caring about remembering dreams. But there are many solutions to help recall your dreams, such as convincing yourself that you will remember them, waking up during a REM cycle, or writing down your dreams as soon as you remember them. And that brings us to the end of our podcast today. Once again, I'm your host Sharvi, and thank you so much for listening to the Thought Waterfall Podcast. I hope you learned something new, and remember, you are truly capable of unlocking your potential, one thought at a time.